Hello friends, this is Ashirvad here. In this video, I will be explaining you the concept of compiler. Okay. The big question when we are learning any programming language like Java is, does the computer understand programming language? Okay, this is a big question that we need to have answer of. Okay, sadly the answer is no. Okay, we know that when we write simple English instructions, the computer won't be able to process it, and that's why we are writing programs in programming language. But does it directly mean that the computer understands programming language? No. Okay. In fact, the computer understands only binary language. You should always remember that. And it is also called machine language, which is nothing but the language of zeros and ones. Okay. So this is highly complex in nature and it is very difficult for us to understand. Okay, so that is why we are using programming language, which is a way to write programs or write instructions for a machine. So what really happens with programming language is that a program which is written in any programming language, for example Java, C++ or anything else, is converted into machine language or must be converted into machine language. Okay, so that the machine can understand and execute the instructions that you want it to execute. Okay, and the thing that does this job is called compiler. Okay, so how should we define this term compiler? Compiler is a software utility which does what? Which converts program into machine language. Okay, this is the definition of the compiler. Now, talking about compiler, it is a compulsory thing with any programming language. When we are talking about for example C++ or Java or any other programming language, it must have something like compiler to convert the program into machine language, because unless the compiler converts the program into machine language, there will be no point of writing simple straightforward programs. Okay, there will be no meaning of writing the instructions in a programming language. So when we are talking about traditional programming languages such as C or C++, this is exactly what happens. Okay, that is, a program written in C++ is converted by compiler into machine code. The problem with this approach is that the machine code or the executable code which is generated is platform dependent. Okay, you have to understand this thing because otherwise you won't be able to understand why Java language is called platform independent. Okay, so the programming language like C++, which has a compiler which converts a program written in C++ into machine code, and this machine code is always in the form of an executable file if we are talking about Windows operating system. In other words, you can say this machine code will execute only on the machine on which the program was written. Okay, So for example, if I had written my program in C++ on Windows operating system, I will be able to execute that program only on Windows machines. Okay, so this is what we mean. The word platform means nothing but your operating system. Okay, so this is the problem with C++. If you want to write if you want a program which I have already developed, and I want that program to be executed on different platforms like Linux operating system or Mac OS, then I will need to write the program, the complete program right from the beginning. Okay, and same process is to be done if I want to target some other operating system. So that is the big problem with these traditional languages. Okay, what Java does in this regard is this. Okay, when you write a Java program, it is saved in .java file. This is the extension of the Java program file. This program is of course given to the Java compiler, which converts your Java program into something called bytecode. Okay, bytecode is similar to machine code, but it is definitely not machine code. And since it is not machine code, the machine cannot understand it. And since the machine cannot understand it, we cannot have it executed. Okay, in order to execute this bytecode, we need another software, or we have another software called JVM. It is called Java Virtual Machine. Okay, and what is the job of JVM? It takes the bytecode and then the bytecode is executed. So we have an executed Java program by the JVM, Java Virtual Machine, and there is no involvement of operating system in the whole process, as you can see. Whereas in this case, the machine code here is always executed by the operating system. That is the dependency factor here. And in this case, the JVM is responsible for executing all the bytecodes which was generated by the Java compiler for any program. So the advantage of having this approach is we don't need to worry about which operating system we are developing the Java program. If you have JVM, in fact we have JVMs available for different operating systems. We have Java and JVM for Linux, we have JVM for Windows, we have JVM for Android, and if you talk about any operating system, we have JVM for it. Okay, so when you have bytecode, you can get it executed on any platform or operating system if you have JVM installed on it. Okay, so that way you can say that Java is a platform independent language. Okay, so from here on in the upcoming videos, I will be using this term compiler often. Okay, I will be using the term bytecode, I'll be using the term JVM. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear to you now. So one more thing I want to discuss about my upcoming videos, that I will be showing each process practically. Okay, by making a Java program and converting it into bytecode. I will show you how bytecode looks, and I will execute that bytecode by using JVM. So the whole process we are going to see in the upcoming videos. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Do like and subscribe if you have liked the content. Okay, thank you so much for watching.